We are live on Instagram, live on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Hi, I am Crystal. Hi, Carrie Ann. Right now, my steamer is heating up. My steamer is heating up. So sit tight as my steamer heats up. Hi, Poetry Love. I'm just doing some Saturday afternoon lock maintenance. How are y'all? How are you guys this afternoon? I know this is a weird time to go live, but I do want to go live on different times just to make sure I can catch different crowds, right? So I'm live on Instagram. Now I'm live on YouTube. As you enter, please say hello. My steamer is starting to heat up. By the way, this is a face steamer. This is a face steamer, and I do have some product on my face right now so that I can also steam my face as I steam my locks, So, like, why not? Hello, Carolyn. Greetings. Hi, Ree. Hi, Akelia. Happy Saturday. How are you doing? How's the weather in New York? Thanks for asking. The weather is it's a nice cool breeze coming in through my window, but it's really sunny. I imagine it's pretty warm outside. Today is the last day of summer. Hi, Bianca. Hi, Bam. Hi, it's Lashad. All right. I don't know if you guys can see the steam is starting to produce. I'm letting it hit my face for now. Again, I still want to get some of the benefits on my skin. My skin has been acting up and I'm working on repairing it. Okay, it's starting to get bigger. The steam is starting to get bigger, so I'm going to let it get into my hair now. So if you're wondering why, like, the steam went away, I think it's because I'm holding it as opposed to keeping it flat. But that's just how it has to be today. So if you're wondering why steaming really does help with moisture retention. It helps any treatments that you use, any products that you use, it helps it become more effective as the steam helps to open your hair cuticles, allowing the product and allowing the moisture to penetrate more deeply. So that's what we're doing right now. We're letting the steam get into my locks, and then we will follow up with our horsetail treatment, which is essentially the horsetail oil application. Hi, Mrs. Rock Kitty. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining on this afternoon. Thanks for joining. Hi, JM. Hi, Brando. Hi, I am Nia Love. We are steaming. We are steaming. Hi, Kevin. We are steaming. And for those of you just coming in, if you just missed my explanation, we're steaming to help the efficacy of our hair treatment. So I'm spending time on half of my hair right now. I will go back to, I'll go to the other side once I feel that this hair has been pretty moisturized, hydrated. Bando says, how long you had your locks for? I know you get that a lot. Yes, I do. And that's a very good question, especially if you're new here. I've had my locks for 14 years. I've had my locks for 14 years. At their longest, they were down to my thighs. They got down to my thighs about almost 12 years in, or maybe it was 12 years in. And then I cut a foot off. I cut a foot off after it hit my thigh length, and I will never let it get that long again. But yeah, it's grown now back down to like my tailbone. And congratulations on 3 years, Bando. Congratulations. Keep it locked. Keep it locked. Everyone on YouTube, I see a lot of a good amount of people watching, but please make sure you say hello as you enter. Say what's up. JM said, you've just reminded me to get back to steaming my hair. You're right. It's very beneficial. Yes. Sometimes we We know better, but we just forget to do better. I've only recently started implementing this type of steaming. Before, I would steam my hair in the shower, but this is a lot more direct and intentional approach. So that's why I'm doing it. And yes, the steam, it really helps. Okay, 2 questions. Bando says, what does steam in it do? And Nairobia also says, why do you steam your locks? So steaming your hair is very beneficial, whether you have locks, loose natural hair, whatever kind of hair you have. It's beneficial because the heat helps to open your hair cuticles. So basically our hair cuticles is like the outer layer of our hair. So the steam helps to open them up to allow moisture to penetrate deeply. So it lets the moisture get really in there when you steam it. So it's really good to do if you have dry hair, if you have issues with retaining moisture in your hair, if your hair is brittle, if your hair is treated, chemical treated, color treated. This is a great way to help your hair get more moisturized more deeply, right? Also, it helps with your products. It helps your products become more effective. So if you're using a product that helps with strengthening or helps with conditioning and things like that, this process helps your hair, or it helps the product be more effective, and you get more out of your product this way. So after I've finished steaming my hair, I'm going to go ahead and apply the horsetail leaf growth oil, because horsetail is abundant in silica. Why is silica important? Silica helps to strengthen our hair. Strength is something that we have to value in our hair, because if our hair is weak, our hair will be brittle and it will break, especially if your hair is already damaged, like from color treatments, or if your moisture routine is not adequate, or maybe you're not consistent with your moisturizing routine, then horsetail is definitely an ingredient that you want to implement in your hair care routine. So I will be applying the horsetail leaf growth oil afterwards to help with strength. And it is an oil that I use regularly, so I do feel like my hair is pretty strong, but I want to make sure that it stays that way. So I will be applying that afterwards. And it is also a great time for you to get your own bottle of the horsetail leaf growth oil, as it is buy one, get one free on KeishaCharmaine.com. So you can head over to KeishaCharmaine.com, use the code 2HORSE after adding 2 bottles to your cart, and you can get one free. So this side, I feel like I'm almost satisfied. It does feel a lot softer already. And yes, I do have a pretty fresh retwist, so I'm not going to let it get too close to my scalp, my roots, because I do want it to maintain. Although I do have a photo shoot next weekend, so I will be getting my hair done over again, but still, I would like it to be maintained until then. So now I'm going to go to the other side. And yes, I still feel it in my face, which I'm happy about, because my face does need this treatment as well. And so while I'm live, yes, sincerely, Alicia, steaming. Are you familiar with steaming? Akelia says, does the horsetail leaf oil help with people who have follicles where hair does not grow in those particular areas anymore? It's completely bald. Yes, it does. It does help with that. However, I recommend the emu oil growth drops for that even more, because that has shown to be more effective in my customers when it comes to problem areas like balding spots or thin spots. So I would recommend the emu oil growth drops, which will be available again at the top of the month at the top of October. So stay tuned. Make sure you're on my email list. Make sure you are in my text list, or just keep following me because I'm gonna announce it. Just I'll announce it everywhere when it happens. But you still should be on my email list. Highly recommend it. Sincerely, Alicia says I haven't tried it on my hair. Well, yes, I definitely recommend it. For those of you just coming in, steaming your hair, it helps to allow moisture to penetrate deeply into your hair. So if you are dealing with dry hair, brittle hair, if your hair has trouble with retaining moisture, you'll find steaming your hair to be very helpful, as it allows moisture to penetrate deeply into your hair. And it also is very beneficial for whatever hair treatments you use, maybe any hair oils, any hair conditioners, leave-in conditioners. It helps it to be more effective, which makes sense, right? Because since it's opening up the cuticle, allowing the moisture to penetrate deeply, as you can imagine, that it will help the product that you're using to penetrate deeply as well. Okay, thank you, because I wanted to get that for my aunt going through chemo. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. But yes, I imagine that she may be dealing with baldness on the scalp, but also the hair that she does have is probably weakened. So in that case, I would definitely recommend the horsetail leaf growth oil for that, as the horsetail leaf growth oil is abundant in silica. Silica, it's 25% silica, so it's very strengthening. So it'll help the quality of her hair that she does have. And the emo oil growth drops is really good for the scalp and with problem areas on the scalp. Intergalactic, I'll call you Inter for now because I'm having trouble seeing. Hi, love. Question: is your straggly hairs normal? Is straggly hairs normal? And what do you do with yours? When you say straggly hairs, I think you mean loose hairs. Do you mean loose hairs coming out of the lock, or do you mean loose hairs at the scalp? Please please help me out with what you mean with that. But either way, yes, the answer is yes. It is normal. I personally groom my hair very regularly, so that's not normally an issue with me. Yes, loose hairs at the scalp. Okay, and at the scalp. Okay, so if you mean both, okay. So my best bet is that that's occurring because you don't groom your hair very frequently. If you try to retwist more often, if you do retwisting, I don't know if you do retwisting or interlocking or whatever, but I would do it more regularly if it's retwisting. If it's interlocking should only occur about 4 times a year. But the interlocking will significantly help those loose hairs stay in the lock. So I'm not sure what method do you use to maintain your hair? What method do you use? Do you retwist? Do you interlock? And as far as like straggly hairs along the length of the lock, that's probably just frizz. And frizz can be maintained with regular palm rolling. Yeah, I've never interlocked before. Okay, interlocking, you may find that to be a game changer when it comes to your loose hairs at your scalp and your roots, because the interlocking is going to help the strands stay inside the lock. If that's something you want to do, if you want that to occur. Kim asks, how often do you steam? Steaming, this type of steaming is something that I've newly implemented. Normally, I would steam my hair in the shower, and I would do that often. I don't really have like a set frequency, but this is something that I'm trying to implement twice a week, and to see how see if I notice any sort of improvement. My hair does feel softer already, and I'm about to go ahead with my horsetail treatment, but I think I'm gonna go like another round. I'm gonna do the other side again. I'm gonna do the side again, and then I'm gonna go ahead and apply my oil to get that silica. You're welcome, intergalactic intergalactic. Tatiana says, "Hi, beautiful. What is your recommendation for bunching?" Bunching. Are you referring to like when your hair gets like lumps, for lack of a better term, like when it gets lumps? That often happens with hair that's of a more curly texture. Is that what you mean by bunching? If that's the case, you can use a hi King. You can use a crochet needle to help to pull the hairs out of the lumps, and also implement palm rolling. So, Tatiana, do you know what has caused your bunching? Is it just simply because of your texture? And if it is simply because of your texture and not to do with your maintenance, then I probably will recommend that if it is a problem for you, if you would rather your hair become more uniform, as in like more straight and smooth, then I would recommend that you implement palm rolling more regularly. So I don't know how often you wash your hair. Let's say you wash your hair twice a month. I would recommend that you are palm rolling your hair twice a month. And palm rolling, it's best done. Okay, Tatiana, okay. It's best done on freshly washed hair. So that's something that I would recommend. So if you're not washing your hair that often, if that's too often for your hair, then I would recommend moisturizing your hair fully, like thoroughly, as in misting it thoroughly before doing it, before palm rolling. Or at least if you're able to, I would get my hair completely wet. Good morning or good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon over here. I will let your hair get completely wet. Even if you're not shampooing, I will let it get completely wet and then go ahead with the palm rolling. But if the bunching is really bad, then you may want to definitely implement a crochet needle to help to pull the hairs out of that. But that might be something that you want to go to a professional for, as poor usage of a crochet needle could be really damaging. All right. Hi, Savvy Salon. I'm doing well. How are you? How are you? I'm good. Hi, X Flying CX. I am steaming my hair, and I've been doing it for about 15 minutes now. You're welcome, Tatiana. I've been doing it for about 15 minutes now. I think let me get in my face a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now. I'm gonna apply the oil. Ooh. That was actually very relaxing. I have a pretty fresh bottle of Horsetail Leaf Growth Oil that I got on KeishaCharmaine.com, which is buy one, get one free right now. And I'm going to just rake it through my hair and squeeze it in. Yes. My ends, I guess I probably had my ends steamed the longest because, wow, my ends feel really soft. I wish you guys, you probably can't tell that it's soft for me from visual, but it feels really soft. D Jordan says, what to do about thinning hair on top up front? I have lost my locks there. My hair is very thin there. On top up front, I think you mean here. You mean your hairline? Your hairline, is it receding? Is your hairline receding in general, or do you have just problem spots? Because if your hairline is just generally receding, that could be due to that could be hereditary. But just because something is hereditary, that doesn't mean that it has to happen to you. It doesn't mean that it has to be your reality. So some things that you can do to help to preserve your hairline. Let's say, okay, one, you can be gentle with your hairline when it comes to styling, when it comes to doing braids, and even doing your regular grooming like retwist and interlocking. be very gentle and mindful when you are handling that part of your hair. 2, you can start implementing products such as the emu oil growth drops, which is currently sold out, but it will be re-released in October, at the top of October. So stay tuned for that drop. That has really good reviews, so definitely check out those reviews. 3, what else can you do for your hairline? Make sure that you are sleeping on satin pillowcases. Make sure that you're tying your hair up in satin scarves to go to sleep. Make sure you're not exposing your hair to materials that will snag on your hair or pull on it or dry it out. So basically, you want to give your hairline some TLC, and know that that doesn't have to be your reality. You don't have to have a receding hairline. You don't have to have locks thinning around your hairline. There are things that you can do. Also, monitor your stress levels and be mindful of your diet and your water intake. Okay. Izine says, how many years of your locks? I've been locking for 14 years, but I think I probably cut off maybe 6 years, not 6. I probably cut off like 4 or 5 years of that. So I don't have all 14 years with me anymore. Well, they're with me. They're in the bag, but I don't have all of that length on me anymore. D says not receding, just very thin. Okay, that's even better. That's even better that it's not receding and it's just thin. So try the emu oil growth drops. Make sure that you're subscribed to my email list so you're notified when they're available. But I will definitely announce on my YouTube and on Instagram once it is available. So there's that. There's that. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other side. Remember, horsetail is 25% silica. Why is that important? Silica provides strength and structure to our hair, which makes it more resilient. And that's not just for locks, that's for loose naturals too. Regardless of your hair type, whether your hair is kinky, curly, coily, wavy, or straight. Silica keeps our hair strong. It improves the elasticity, which means it's more resistant to breakage from styling and manipulation. Nas says, I just got a clothes steamer. Can I use it on my hair? I did use a clothes steamer in my latest YouTube video, not the live video, but on my a edited video. I was using a clothes steamer in that tutorial. Yeah, so I'm currently, considering what's the significant distinctions between using a clothes steamer and a hair steamer and a face steamer. I was just using a face steamer. And I don't know offhand if there is a significance. From my research, the only thing that I was able to find is that you just have to make sure that you clean the reservoir, and you can clean it by putting a little bit of vinegar in the water and letting it run through just to fully clean it. As you know, vinegar is a cleaning agent, and it's a natural cleaning agent. Respect is key, says Miss Charmaine. Does your husband appreciate your beautiful locks? Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for asking. Hey, everyone coming in on Instagram. We are live on Instagram. We are also live on YouTube. So pick your platform, whichever you prefer. Instagram, I have a nice little filter. YouTube, y'all just get the real face. So whichever you prefer. If you prefer the filter face or you prefer the regular face. I'm going to put a little bit more This is the Horse Leaf Growth Oil, which I got on sale because it's buy one, get one free right now on KeishaCharmaine.com. You can use the code 2HORSE to get 2. Make sure you add 2 to your cart first. And I'm also taking the time to answer questions. So if anybody has any questions, this is a great time to ask while I'm live. I will be coming live again later on this evening and maybe late night, because I kind of want to make sure I get different crowds and everyone's online at different times. So I want to make sure I get to all of y'all. But y'all have a treat right now because y'all are actually here while I'm doing my maintenance, while I'm doing my steaming. So did I miss any questions? If I missed your question on Instagram, please feel free to ask it again, because scrolling looking for the questions is just inconvenient. It's kind of tough, especially with me on YouTube as well. Hi, Sally Henry. I need to get new contacts. I need to go to the eye doctor. But good afternoon, Sally. Flying says, not a lot question, but just curious. You're super pretty. What's your workout routine to keep it all together? Thank you. So I haven't been the most consistent with my workout routines, but I do love to keep a personal trainer when I have the time. Currently my routine is really just like a lot of walking, but I haven't worked out in a while. But I do a lot of walking as a New Yorker. Like, we walk a lot. And I am naturally skinny. I've been skinny my whole life. It's in my genetics to be skinny. And I don't have any children. So there's that. Like, my mom, she didn't start getting some weight on her until she had me. And I'm her third. Okay? I'm her third. And she still never even got like heavy. She was never plus size. So to be honest, it's just mostly genetic. But I do eat pretty well. I'm not vegan or anything like that, but I'm a mindful eater and I do eat pretty well. Tatiana says, what are some safe styles for starter locks? I'm currently 7 months in. Nice, 7 months in. Oh wait, Tatiana, you're the one you with the curlier hair, right? Safe styles. When I had my starter locks, my go-to styles were like flat twists. I did a lot of flat twists and into like lock hawks, faux hawks. So I did flat twists on the sides. How long is your hair, by the way? Because my hair was like this long. Like, when I was starting out, it was like the range was like this. So I really couldn't do very much, but I did flat twists on the sides, and then it would just be out in the middle. That was my go-to. And I would just play around with flat twists in different ways. Like, maybe I would do flat twists in the front, so then it's kind of like creating bangs. Sally, what do you mean? Did you ask a question? Oh, Sally says, I'm interested in growing my locks. How do I get started? Oh, that's a great question. How do you get started? Well, you can start with comb coils. You can start with 2-strand twists. You can start with braids. You can start with, you can cheat and get the instant locks, which is when they create the lock with the crochet needle or back combing, depending on your hair texture. Some people start with extensions and let it grow out, but I started with coils, and depending on your hair length and hair texture, coils are a really common and efficient method for you if you have kinkier hair like myself. I have kinky coily hair, so coils, my hair naturally wants to stay in a coil. And my hair was short when I started. So if your hair is longer, you may want to start off with 2-strand twists, because 2-strand twists tend to last longer on longer hair versus a coil. Coils tend to unravel more when they're longer. So just keep that in mind. Tatiana says, past my shoulder blades. Oh, your hair is long. Your locks are long for starter locks. You can do a lot of things. My only, as far as since you're dealing with bunching, I would just make sure that you don't keep them in tight styles for too long, because they're gonna start to like lock in with tension in certain areas, and then you don't want that, because that's gonna support the bunching. So when you do keep them in styles, make sure to take them out and let your hair be free a lot. Like, I know we want to style our hair more often. We want our hair to look neater, but we really should be prioritizing the locking earlier on. So I would allow it to be loose and free as much as possible. But of course, sometimes we're going different places. We want our hair to look more maintained. Your hair sounds like it's in a length that you can do buns, correct? Past your shoulder blades, you can do buns. You can do buns. You can do ponytails. You can do half up, half downs. Simple. Keep them simple. Keep it simple. You can do 2-strand twists. But again, I would prioritize keeping it out as your hair is locking. Miss Rock Kitty asked, do I ever miss my red locks? Do you think you'll ever color them again? I don't know if I miss it, but I do still appreciate the beauty of them. Like when I see pictures or videos of me when my hair was red, I'll be like, oh wow, it looks so good. That looked really good. But I don't like want it back, because it reminds me of a time in my life that I'm just completely past. Like I'm another person. Well, not another person, but I'm just a grown version of that person. Also, it was a lot of maintenance. It was I wash my hair regularly, as in like twice a month. So it was really hard for that rich red color to stay. So I don't want to do it ever again. But I have been playing with the idea of using a hair paint wax to get the temporary color, and that's something that I may do in the near future. I may do that for a temporary color. It's L'Oreal says 4 months locked. Oh boy, 4 months locked. Why haven't my roots locked yet? They're puffy and I have to retwist every 2 days. Don't retwist every 2 days. Please understand that your roots will never lock, and your roots are not supposed to lock. Focus on the length of your locks locking. And yes, good morning to you too. Your roots aren't supposed to lock. Consider the fact that your roots will always be new growth. And the more you are retwisting it every 2 days, the more you are going to break your hair and thin it out. Regardless if your hair is fine or coarse, your hair is going to thin out if you keep retwisting it every 2 days. Stop that. If you want a really manicured look with really neat roots, then go for interlocking. Interlock your hair, but do not retwist that often. Understand that your roots are not supposed to lock. Your roots are not supposed to lock. I find it hard to kind of explain this, because it kind of feels like common sense or common knowledge when you think about it. Your roots, if your hair is growing actively, your roots should not lock, because your roots are always going to be new, right? Because our hair grows. I always find it hard to explain this, but yeah, your roots don't lock. Respect is Key says, how does your diet relate to your hair health? What are some foods that you eat or stay away from in relationship to your hair? I like to be sure to incorporate healthy fats. And I personally get a lot of my healthy fats from meat sources, but you don't have to eat meat if that's not something that you do. But or lean meats, fish, nuts. There's options for you. But healthy fats, the omegas, you want to make sure you're getting in your zinc, your vitamin C, your biotin. These are all present in foods. So definitely incorporate your diet into your hair care routine. Evic says, could I wash my hair? Like if I had them in for 8 months? I hope so. You've had your locks in for 8 months. I hope you washed your hair at least 8 times. Let's kill this myth that you are not supposed to that you're not supposed to wash baby locks. That's not true. That's not true. And oftentimes people will recommend that you don't wash your hair when you're starting off, and I completely don't support that. I'm completely against that ideology. I'm completely against that advice. Hygiene is a thing. We have to present ourselves a certain kind of way, okay? We can't be perpetuating these stigmas that people with locks are dirty. Wash your hair. Wash your hair, and I don't care that your hair is fresh. Baby locks, wash it. And here's how you can wash your hair in a manner that will help your locks stay intact. And this is what I did very early on, and this is what I recommend for people to do when they're early on in their lock journeys. Put your hair in a stocking cap. Make sure that the stocking cap fits your hair in such a way that it keeps your locks in place. It keeps them flat and in place. Allow the water to run through the stocking cap and massage on top of the stocking cap. Massage your scalp. Obviously, be gentle with it. And this will take more time than if you were to be washing your hair while it's out, but it's still important that you wash it. It's more important to wash it than it is to avoid unraveling. Also consider that the unraveling and retwisting process, the unraveling and retwisting, that is what helps our hair lock. So if you think that your hair is just going to be twisted on day one with no water helping the hairs dance together, your hair is going to take a lot longer to lock. Water helps our hair lock. Allowing water to flow through our hair and allow the strands to move is what makes our hair lock. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm painting a picture for you. Okay. I was nervous because like when she washed them came out, because first cousins did them. First, your cousin did them. They were palm rolling them. Next, they became interlock. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But if you wanna preserve your locks, and here's the thing. What's most important is that when you wash your hair, like you still have your parts. So when you finish washing your hair, your locks are not like stuck together. Now you have to like create new locks because they all married. If you're washing your hair gently with lower water pressure, even if you're not using a stocking cap, if you're washing your hair gently with a low pressure, you won't have that issue. Yes, you will have some unraveling, but again, that is okay. The unraveling and the retwisting and the unraveling and the retwisting helps your hair lock. Okay, so don't avoid washing your hair. Don't avoid getting your hair wet. Water helps. All right. All right. Am I caught up on the questions? For those of y'all just coming in, y'all missed the steaming. I steamed my locks and then I applied my horsetail oil to seal in that moisture. Again, the benefits to steaming your hair. The steam helps to get the moisture deeper into your hair. The hot air, the steam, helps to lift your hair's cuticles to allow the moisture to penetrate deeply. And it also helps for products to be more effective as your hair it's more receptive to them. I hope that makes sense. Denise says, when my locks get really long, they start to break off. Well, also consider that when your locks get really long, that means your ends are very old, right? So I've had my locks for 14 years. I cut off about 4 years of length. Those 4 years of locks that I have in my baggy, the quality of that hair is nowhere near as high quality as this part of my hair, right? And that's because it's older hair, especially when you want to consider that I did dye my hair a billion times. So it's older hair, it's colored, it's when it comes to the older hair, it is harder for it to retain moisture. And if it's not retaining moisture as well, then it's going to most likely break, right? But if you're at a point where you're not, you're not ready to do that trim, make sure you're implementing products that help support your hair strength, right? That help support your hair strength. The ones that are already breaking off, if they're hanging on by a thread, a hair, not a thread. If they're hanging on by a hair, then you kind of want to yank it off or snip it, however you choose to do so, because it's gonna fall off on its own anyway, and you don't want it to fall off in public, and that could be embarrassing. Okay, that happened to me before. That happened to me one time. So you don't want that to happen. So I would handle it before that happens, before it breaks off in public on its own. But as far as the rest of your hair, you wanted to maintain its strength. So try steaming. Try steaming your hair to allow moisture to penetrate deeply into your hairs, as well as the horsetail leaf growth oil, which is 25% silica. I mean, horsetail itself, the herb is 25% silica. So that's a really good herb for strengthening your hair, right? Hi, Bill. All right. So I've been on here for 40 minutes. If anyone has any final questions, ask away. If not, I'm going to get out of here and I will be back on, maybe I'll do a late night shift. All right. Anybody on Instagram? Anybody on YouTube? I love doing the lives at the same time. It's so convenient. Saves me some time, and you all can get questions. You can hear everybody else's questions. It's just, I love going live on both platforms at the same time. So if anybody has any questions, Bill says that I got one. What's your question? Ask away. Christine says, what did you use to steam your locks? I used this. Is there any more water in here? I'll turn it back on, see if there's any more water, so you can see the steam. Just for a visual, because I'm done. It might be out of water though. What's your question, Bill? So for those of you watching on YouTube, once you can rewind now if you want to. You can rewind, but I will be posting it. So if you missed the beginning where I did the demonstration, then you can catch it from the beginning. And for those of you who are on Instagram, if you missed the beginning, if you missed the demo, you can, when I'm finished here, I will post it on my page so you can watch it from the beginning, or you can go onto YouTube and watch the YouTube version, which is filter free. White Rice and Honey says, you may have already answered this, but I'm 10 years locked. Oh, the steam is coming. Can y'all see that? I'm 10 years locked and I want to take break from retwisting. What would be an ideal time so I don't lose form or cause thinning? That's a great question. So where are you now? Like, how often do you retwist right now? I would probably do a gradual decreasing in the frequency rather than just abruptly rather than just do an abrupt halt in your retwisting. You know what I mean? Like I would, so if you retwist twice a month, do it once a month, right? If you retwist once every 6 weeks, maybe do it once every 8 weeks and things like make it steady, slow and steady to see what your hair can handle. So Bill says, my dreads be thinning on the scalp and thy huge down. What do I do? I don't know what you mean by the huge down. But if your hair is thinning at the scalp, my best bet is that your hair is not being maintained at the appropriate frequency for your hair texture. How often are you getting retwists? How often are you getting your retwists? My best bet is that you're not doing it often enough. People love to say the contrary, but in my experience with dealing with a lot of questions from viewers and things over the years, more often than not, people are not retwisting their hair enough. And I think that it's because of the narrative that people constantly push that you should just retwist less frequently, retwist less frequently, retwist less frequently, when that is not a rule of thumb for everybody. That's not a rule of thumb for everybody. We all have different hair types, and per our hair type, we should be retwisting at the appropriate frequency for us. Yeah. Christine says, did you just do the roots or all of your locks? I assume just the roots, because that would be a lot. No, just I pretty much avoided the roots as much as I could, and I did the length of my locks. Rewind. You can rewind the video on YouTube. You can pull the little dot back. The dot that's right here, you can drag it back on YouTube. Bill says, oh, I already addressed that. Flying says, did you start your steam with dry hair or misted hair? Or my stream with dry hair or misted hair? Dry. I started with dry. The steam is my water source for today. Although you can do it with misted hair as well, for sure, for sure. Where am I? White Rice and Honey says, thank you. I maybe retwist twice a month. This was helpful. Wait, I maybe retwist twice a month? How often are you retwisting right now? Because I definitely don't recommend more than twice a month for anybody. So are you saying that you were doing more than twice a month previously? If so, then I think that reducing it will definitely be beneficial. Okay, awesome. All right, I think I'm caught up on the questions. All right. I'm hungry. All right. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go. I'll tell y'all later. If I do, I'll tell y'all later. All right. Everybody have a great Saturday. Bye, Instagram. All right. Everybody have a great Saturday on YouTube. I'll see you later.